Good afternoon, Mail-In crew. I'm your host, Brad Merriman. To my right, we have the lovely Sally deFries. Sally, happy Thursday. Good afternoon. How are you?
Great.
Let's ride.
Finish work.
Scrub-a-dub-dubbing today.
I'm in my scrubs.
You don't want no scrubs.
Yeah. Except for these ones.
Scrubs.
No. Nope, we're not singing.
You know the passengers?
No. We have some long questions today.
We do.
And I just want to say, people aren't keeping it tactical. And that's fine. But we're going to have to read quickly.
Yeah, we'll get it. We'll
These
get on our horse
straight
for
up
these.
novels.
Yeah.
I don't even think we can parse some of these down. They need context.
They need that's the problem. And it's like, hey, feel free to parse this one down, but here's a bunch of layers of context.
That you need.
Correct.
You know?
I know.
So bear with us. I'm going to be honest, I haven't read any of these. I just saw the length on a lot of them.
So you skimmed them. I mean, nothing we haven't necessarily seen before. I think we got some good stuff here to deal with, to sink our teeth into today. You'll get to see Sally check in for her flight mid podcast today.
That was supposed to be a surprise.
Oh,
wow!
Sorry, you have to wow it again, Randy.
Wow! They could hear it in the background, but
we even discussed this, how it was going to be like a funny moment on the.
It was going to be comedic.
People forget about this by the time that moment rolls.
No, everyone remember now. Fred ruined it.
Ruined it. Yeah, I got to check in for my flight. I'm going to NOLA tomorrow.
Nice.
My future sister-in-law's bachelorette party. I'm older than everyone by like a decade.
Let's go.
It's going to be fun.
What's the itinerary looking like?
We are going to dinner tomorrow.
Nice.
The sisters and I are skipping the swamp tour on Saturday.
What's this, like a literal swamp tour? Or is that
on one of those airboats?
Oh, okay. I thought that was like the name for a fun like bar crawl.
No, like a legitimate swamp tour that unfortunately some of us cannot go on because they have medical ailments that don't allow them to be on a swamp tour.
Swamp tour.
Mine being that I can't pump on a swamp tour.
Okay.
And then we are going to Galatoire's for dinner.
Nice.
And then out on Bourbon Street.
Here we go. How many hurricanes?
How many hand grenades?
Well, probably 0, to be honest. Because I think my flight on Sunday, because people are traveling here for the eclipse, the only one I could get on is like a 6 a.m. flight.
Oh, buddy. Boy, do I know that.
And it's going to be cloudy on Monday.
I know. I am. I'm coming back from. I have a wedding. Shouts to our boy Ben this weekend. Getting married in Sonoma, my first time.
Mm-hmm.
Very excited about it. But in booking my flight home, realized that everybody is trying to get to Austin on Sunday.
Yeah.
And so that was difficult.
Have you heard the rumor that Elton John and then also Jeff Bezos have both rented out different summer camps in the Austin area to have eclipse parties at?
I have not heard that rumor, but I like, why not? I love that.
I've not heard this.
Camp Mystic and Camp Waldemar, yeah.
Really?
Is what I've heard, is the rumor.
Okay. Are you're ear to the ground on this?
Yeah.
Dumois?
Well, I just
deFries?
have friends who've gone to both those camps.
Oh, okay.
So they're
okay.
That's what the chatter is.
It's going to be
chatter.
It's still going to be cool because it'll get dark for 4 minutes, right? But if it's going to be,
I think the totality is only like 2 minutes.
Full cloud cover.
Well, we don't know for sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't want to get my hopes up.
Don't get your hopes up. I just saw today it said cloudy morning and thunderstorms forming in the afternoon. So it could break it up. You know how Texas skies get. It could be completely clear.
Like the weather. Just wait
5 minutes, brother. That's right. Yeah. That's right. Anyway, we're the Mail-In Podcast. We're going to answer some questions today. You can ask them by responding to the link in the description of this episode or on Twitter at Mail-In Podcast or on Instagram. Just DM us. We'll throw it in. Hit up the YouTube to watch our lovely faces in person. YouTube.com/MailinPodcast. And Sally, let's get going.
We're going to get going because
here we go.
These questions are going to take a while.
Team. I'm a 25-year-old male living in Denver with my girlfriend. One of my college friends and her fiancée are set to move here this summer. They signed the lease last week. On the same exact day I was told they signed their lease, one of my college roommates sent a text message in our group chat that he found said fiancé on Grindr. Unfortunately, this is the exact same situation that occurred in 2020 when we were all in our last semester of college. The first time, the photos on Grindr matched the guy's Instagram, only his face was cut out. This time around, my old roommate just knew somehow, but my girlfriend was able to find multiple photos on the fiance's Facebook where he is wearing a very unique bracelet. It's orange and rubber on his wrist. It's 100% him. In 2020, my roommate confronted the guy via text and told him to come clean. Shortly after that, we, the 3 roommates and I, called our friend to make sure she was informed that he actually told her he was on Grindr. She told us they had talked, she knew about everything, and that he was, quote, just window shopping. I also know that this guy gave my roommate's ex-boyfriend a blowjob. The ex-boyfriend told us that in 2020 when our friend started dating the guy. So there's a lot of corroborating witnesses here.
Okay.
Obviously, someone has to tell her that she signed a lease across the country and is set to be married this fall. My old roommate does not want to tell her because of how things went down last time. Additionally, I do not think this is a weird arrangement they have because clearly he's trying to hide his face and personal info. This is a cheating problem, and it makes it more complicated because it's Grindr. My old roommate and this girl actually used to hook up, and he had to end it because he realized he was gay. I don't want my friend's life to be wrecked, and I don't want to be the one to tell her, but I feel obligated to so she can get her affairs in order and think about this marriage. My girlfriend thinks I should call a mutual friend who was a bridesmaid in her wedding and get her to tell our friend. I don't feel like putting all of this on one other person is very considerate. Any and all advice is appreciated. How much in the affairs are we getting? Or not affair yet, but you got to tell somebody, right?
Yeah, he needs to just tell her.
Yeah, can you break down the there was a lot
I know,
of
there's
like
a lot of-
ex-boyfriends
Lots
all
of
that. I have
moving
no idea
parts.
what's
Okay,
going
so it
on.
sounds like the guy, question asker,
Yes.
Okay.
has a friend who is a girl.
Okay.
Correct.
He also has his own girlfriend. Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
His friend that's a girl is engaged to a guy who is
Perusing
perusing
Grindr.
Grindr.
Yes. Okay.
The
He's been-
corroborating witnesses are that this already happened in 2020, and also that he gave a blowjob to
one of the roommates.
the roommate's ex-boyfriend because the question asker's ex-roommate is homosexual and dated
Correct.
the girl originally and realized
Yes,
she was
yeah,
gay
yeah.
and broke up with her.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
Now
then
that's
also-
making sense.
Her future boyfriend / husband hooked up with her old hookup's ex.
Yes.
It's a tangled web. Anyway, all this aside, there's probable cheating happening, which I think is the bigger issue, because she clearly knows about her future husband, her current fiance's sexual orientation,
Yes.
given what happened in 2020. So I don't know that is like the surprise factor. I guess depending on how that was handled in 2020, like whether or not he came out as bisexual or, it probably came out as bisexual, I would assume.
Right.
So I don't think that's the surprise factor here. I think it's
Totally
more
agree.
that he is cheating on her or looking to cheat on her.
That's the thing here. You need to know that as the girl fiance here, you need to know that he's out there doing that. It's not about gay, straight, bi, because I think she already knows what's going on there.
Right.
It's about the perusing still.
My question is, how current is the Grindr profile? Like, is there a
okay.
chance
That it just is sitting there.
Right. Because when Will and I started dating, I had like a Bumble profile that like I never knew how to delete. And somebody was like, oh, we saw Sally on Bumble. And I was like, literally go look at it. Like the picture is from like the second I signed up, and then I like never even used it. So I think there's a chance it's from that. I would assume it's not, but like you got to give him the benefit of the doubt. And I think if you are uncomfortable about bringing it up with her, you lead with that. And you're like, hey, just want to let you know, ex-roommate who was clearly involved in this because she used to date the ex-roommate.
Correct.
Saw fiance on Grindr.
Yeah.
And it could have been from 2020, but it's been 4 years. Just want you to be aware Like, I don't know what y'all have going on. Not here to like be in your business, but because his profile is up on a dating hookup app, I would like you to be aware. I think that's all you have to do. Like, that's how you present it. You don't need to get involved in the whole tangled web of like, he's hooked up with this person and blah, blah, blah. If she starts asking for stuff, I think you point her in the direction. To me, I'm like, you point her in the direction of the person who found it, like who is her ex hookup and his ex roommate.
Correct. You don't put it on him, but you're like, hey, so and so saw this on saw him on Grindr.
Yeah.
I'm letting you know because I know there's a history here. It could be explained by time or whatever, but you don't get into it as like, well, did so and so tell you? And this, like, you just straightforward.
At the end of the day, if you want to clear your conscience and you want to make sure that you did a CYA and feel like you have to say something, I would lead it like that. But you're not going to she clearly knows something's up because I mean, in 2020, this happened and they're still together and now engaged to be married. So I'm not saying that they have an open relationship and or anything like that, but you can't make decisions for people. You can only give them information. You can lead a horse to water. You can't make it drink,
There you go.
So I would lead it like that. If she needs more evidence, I think you point her in the direction of other people. You're just there to be the messenger because you're closest to her and you're aware. I don't think you need to get more involved and make the mutual friend bridesmaid also say something.
No, I agree.
If you want her to get involved with you and say hey, we're both going to go take her to lunch and talk to her. Mm-hmm. Because maybe coming from multiple people, if you're that concerned, but you don't need to, unfortunately, this is so many moving parts. You don't need to add an extra person who has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I agree. Just, hey, it's always on Grindr. Do you know? If not,
maybe it's an old profile. Just want to let you know,
you can make it straightforward. The only other thing for me here would be, depending on how close you are with this person, just leaving it alone entirely. But I don't think I'd be able to sleep on with that. Just
I think given the history, I think it's worth a conversation. Because if you're pretty sure this is a new Grindr profile, given what happened 4 years ago, I think it's worth bringing up just because you are hey, this is still happening.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Let's hear from our friends over at Liquid IV. How hydrated are you today, Sally?
I'm decently hydrated, to be honest, but I probably am going to enjoy a Liquid IV when I get home, and also will be packing many in my suitcase for the bachelorette party this weekend.
Liquid IV is a bachelorette party's just absolute
savior.
Yeah. And a bachelor party's savior for that matter. I'll probably pack a few to bring to
the wedding,
California. Yeah. It's a good idea.
Flying on planes dries you out.
It does. I didn't know.
You got to stay hydrated.
Got to stay hydrated. You can do that better or more efficiently with our friends over at Liquid IV. I'm big on the sugar-free lemon lime currently. Mm-hmm. 1 glass of water, pack it of Liquid IV, mix it up. Usually I'll put it in something like this and shake it up, if you will, and then down the hatch. Good to go. Twice as fast as water alone. It hydrates you. You know that?
Yeah.
Here we go. It's the best. It's morning, noon, night, working out, feeling a little run down. Maybe you go with the
immune booster.
The immune booster. That's what I was looking for. Thank you. Randy's a big matcha blend guy.
Mm-hmm. And that's that energy.
Exactly. Liquid IV, 1 packet in some water, down the hatch. You're good to go. 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink with no artificial sweeteners and 0 sugar, 8 vitamins and nutrients for everyday wellness. So however you hydrate, grab your Liquid IV hydration multiplier, sugar-free, in bulk nationwide at Costco, or get 20% off your first order when you go to liquidiv.com and use code MAILIN at checkout. That's 20% off your first order when you shop Better Hydration today using code MAILIN at liquidiv.com. Nice stuff, Sal.
Hi, Brett and Sally. How do I get over resentment for my fiance going to a strip club on his bachelor party, even when I told him it was okay to go? For context, He had his bachelor party in Vegas this past weekend. Beforehand, we talked about strip clubs, and I originally told him I was not comfortable with him going for his bachelor party. He and I had an honest discussion where he expressed that it wasn't a problem. He would honor that, and he was just a little nervous about pushing back against his friends who were certainly going to want to go. Eventually, I said I was okay with it as long as he wouldn't get a lap dance. They ended up going on a Friday night. I was a little upset when he just didn't text me at all the entire night, but not a huge deal. He called me in the morning, was honest that they went, and I was fine with it. After he came home, he told me all about his weekend. When the topic of the strip club came up, he said he didn't get any lap dances, but just used wads of ones from his friends to throw on stage. He also told me that his friends were very persistent about him getting a lap dance and that most of the guys encouraged him to lie to me and said that I'll never know. To be clear, I 100% believe him that he honored my boundary. We have a very healthy relationship and communicated about it beforehand, so I'm not worried he lied to me. But I'm really bothered about his friends and the stories he told me about how they wanted him to just lie about it. I had major surgery earlier this year, so I'm not in my best shape and just feel very insecure about the whole situation. Ultimately, he honored my boundary and didn't do anything wrong, but I'm still feeling resentful about the situation, which I recognize is not fair to him. How do I get past my feelings of resentment and insecurity about this? You talk to him. I personally feel like every girl who is in a relationship at some point or another gets pissed at their boyfriend, fiance, husband's friends for being just dickheads.
Mhm.
I mean, that is like, guys, I don't think have to worry about that with like, I mean, here's a great example. Like, I'm going to New Orleans this weekend
Mhm.
for a bachelorette party. We've covered that already. I don't think that there's any thought in Will's head that's like, Sally's going to go and like flirt with dudes.
Mhm.
And even if there was, or I came home and was like, all of the girls really wanted me to like flirt with somebody. You know what I'm saying? Or like get a drink from this guy. He'd be like, okay.
I was
Like-
just gonna say now, it's almost like our age or with like you and wife and 2 kids, like there's
Right, but
it's a different
also I
level
feel like
of-
girls being like, "Oh my god, like go flirt with him, like get a drink for free, blah blah blah."
Yeah.
Like that's just girls like being fun, but I think on the flip side when you're a girl and you hear like your like fiance's friends were all like, "Dude, just lie to her, like go get a lap dance, it's fine, like screw her, blah blah blah." It
Mhm.
does feel like you're like, "Oh my god, fuck those guys." And I think I have been in that position with like many times with Will's
Mhm.
friends, like Will's coworkers. I'm just kidding.
It's like, damn.
No, but you know what I'm saying? And then you're just like, oh, like fuck that guy. Like, why would he say that? That's so annoying. And Will's like, they're just trying to have a good time.
Yeah, the guys,
But it
we
feels threatening. And it
Yeah.
honestly feels like it's very easy to take it personally. Because you're
Sure.
like, oh, what's wrong with me? That like they want
Mhm.
want you to lie to me. But I also feel like it's usually very innocent, not nefarious. It's like guys
100%.
just being dudes.
It's guys wanting to satisfy their own entertainment by watching our boy get a lap
Right.
dance, or watching our boy jump off the cliff, or watching our boy, flirt with the waitress. Like it's just it's for their own entertainment.
Right.
It has nothing to do with
Yes.
the girl in this situation. I feel like this comes up though with there's like the porn discussion, there's the strip
Right.
club discussion, there's the like, can you think another girl's attractive and still be with somebody else discussion. Like, I think there's all a spectrum across all of those, but as long as you communicate about it,
Right.
that's the thing.
I think the issue here though is that she's pissed at the friends. Like,
Yeah, this guy did
she's-
nothing wrong. This guy is like
right. He
respected the boundary,
clearly like
communicated.
respected her. He obviously respects her enough to even tell her that his friends
Yes.
wanted him to lie to her.
Yes,
Like that is like telling me that he really does care about her and like wants her to feel secure and like be confident in his decision making.
correct.
It's the friend thing. And I honestly feel like it's not worth letting that, like being pissed at his groomsmen or his best man or his brothers or whatever it is, because those guys, exactly like you said, they're not doing it out of disrespect for her.
They're doing it
They're-
for their own.
All they're doing is like for the story.
Yes,
For the sake of for the sake of like, oh man, like he got a lap dance. Like I don't even like want to make these guys out to seem like they're Neanderthals. I'm just saying like that's just
It's the same as any group of guys in on a boat, at a restaurant. It's just like you get the group together and you get rowdy and like, oh, it'd be funny if like so and so did this.
right.
It has nothing to do with like the broader situation of like, dude, you gotta get the lap dance because like
Yeah.
once you are married, you can never do that again. It's not even that. It's just like, oh, dude, it would be sick if you did this.
But it's not like that they want him to cheat on her. It's
No,
the same
no.
societal expectation of like, oh my gosh, you're a bride. Like you need to wear white and like we're going to put a sash on you and you're going to get free drinks all night and da-da-da. Like that's just what you do on a bachelor party. I'm not saying it's okay. I'm just saying like that's probably what his groomsmen expected. And I like great for him that he stuck to the boundary, that he respected her, that he told her all of this. I think you need to the way you get over it is that you focus on the fact that he like clearly loves you and cares about you enough to like tell you all of this, be honest with you.
Yeah.
And just know that like even the guy friends are not even having bad intentions. They're just it's probably pretty childish fun.
100%. So if you want to be resentful at anything, it's the friends because your man's was
But
A+.
even like you gotta let go of that.
And
like,
this is much ado about nothing in my
yeah.
opinion. So
Yeah.
let this one go. There'll be more battles to fight at some point.
This is like when Will and my brother-in-law like really like bring out the D-bag in each other.
Of course, yeah.
While they're around each other. Like for the sole purpose of like pissing me and Lily off.
Mm-hmm.
And even when I get like legitimately pissed off at Will and Drew, I'm like, okay, like y'all are just riling each other up.
Correct.
For the purpose of like trying to annoy me and Lily.
Mm-hmm. I've seen it in action.
Yeah.
Hey guys. My wife and I, along with another couple, all entered the Taylor Swift pre-sale lottery for the Miami shows later this year. I got selected, and we were lucky enough to get 4 floor seats. The other couple paid us for their seats, but they're still on my Ticketmaster account. I didn't see a reason to transfer them if we were all going together. Here's where it gets interesting. Whenever we started to plan out the trip, the other couple would not respond or engage in the conversation. And the only thing they would bring up is how much the tickets in our section are selling for, which really rubbed us the wrong way. Well, a few months go by and they tell us they're expecting their first child and we're ecstatic for them. 2 weeks after the concert, so they obviously can't travel to the concert. My wife and I feel like we should be able to just pay them back for their tickets and go with another couple who really wants to go. They, on the other hand, have every intention to sell the tickets. They can more than likely roughly get $10,000 for their 2 tickets. However, after the fees a company like StubHub takes and the tax implications, because they notify the IRS of any transactions above $600, that number drops down to about $6,500. I guess my overall question is, are these tickets theirs to sell? It feels like they never intended on actually going, and getting pregnant just justifies their thought that they can sell the tickets. While our thought is that would be taking advantage of our generosity in sharing the tickets with them, and they should let us pay them back, and we should be able to go with the other couple. I'm also afraid it's going to ruin the friendship, regardless of the outcome, because no one will be happy. The last wrinkle of this whole thing is what we'll be at a wedding together in a few weeks, and I really don't want this to escalate and ruin the bride and groom's weekend. This is a...
I'm sorry. It's the couple who's pregnant paid for him already.
That's kind of where I lean, right?
They get to do with what they want.
I am 100% with Sally on this
I think they paid.
Like, no offense,
it's
I get that that's annoying that you now are not going to be sitting next to people that you know.
Yeah.
But like they paid you for the tickets.
And this is different from a question we had back in the day where like one girl did all the work and then like invited her friend. That girl thought it was a ticket. They like all entered the pool, right? So they were all trying to like get the
correct,
get the probability that they would get that. So like they were part of that initial deal. So those are their tickets.
So, and I think of it as like, say you had transferred from your Ticketmaster account like day one,
right?
And the tickets were just sitting in their Ticketmaster account since day one. And then they get pregnant
and don't give them back to you. You don't have like they don't.
They did a lottery pool and she just was lucky enough to hit, and so like they went in on it together originally.
And their justification is like, well, I hit. But then again,
so
it's like it would be like me and you
Yeah.
buying Powerball tickets.
And then you hit and being like, all right, that's not actually your money now because I'm the one that hit. And those are their tickets.
Yeah.
I think because they paid for them.
They paid for them already. If they would have waited till now and then been like, actually, we're going to pay you for them and then we're going to sell them.
Right.
But they paid for them outright. Like, I'm sorry. Like, even if they weren't pregnant, we're like, hey, we can't pass up getting $10,000.
Right. I think it is.
Like, that's their decision. Like, don't be resentful of them. Go and have fun with your wife. But like, I'm sorry. Maybe this is not going to be popular to him or other people. But like, they're not your tickets. They paid for them.
They paid for them.
I mean, technically, they're on your Ticketmaster account. But
you won the lottery. So, but they have. It's like that's splitting the lottery.
No, I mean,
you know
we
what
did
I mean?
this
Like,
exact same thing with my college friends.
Okay.
And all 5 of us entered. Only one of my girlfriends got it.
Sure.
Me and her spent all day on freaking Ticketmaster trying to get them. Did not, unfortunately. But had we gotten 5 tickets and then one of my friends was like, hey, actually, I'm not going to go. I'm going to just sell mine. I'd be like, okay.
Cool. Right.
That like, it is what it is. Like, that sucks that you're not going to go with us, but like, I can't force you to sell your ticket or keep your ticket. And I also can't force you to give it to somebody else for face value when you literally can make $6,500. Like,
yeah,
I unfortunately, that's just the world we're in. And I think something that maybe the person who wrote in the question is not thinking about is maybe their priorities have changed now that they're pregnant and they're like, wow, that's money that we could use for our future child.
Right. That's kind of where I was thinking too. I was like, they didn't expect this to be an asset and all of now it is. And they're like, wait, this makes a lot of sense from a child
I think
standpoint.
I have like a problem. I don't think that this is what they're implying, but kind of the way they wrote the question is like, oh, hold on, that's me.
Oh, here we go.
My check-in alarm.
Here we go.
Kind of the way that they wrote the question is like accusing the couple of getting pregnant
so that they can sell the tickets. It did sound that like I thought that.
I'm like, I don't know if I'm going that
far with it.
That is what's happening here.
Because they said justify and just made it seem like that. But yeah, I don't think that.
I don't think that that's what's happening. I'm just saying like I don't even care that they're pregnant or not. Like if I got Taylor Swift tickets, I'm a big enough fan that I like want to go.
Right.
But they can make a shit ton of money. Like, let them do it.
And this is up front where the shows in the fall. If this was 2 weeks, even then, I don't know. There's enough time that it's not a slap in the face. Like we already booked travel and dinner reservations as a foursome. Like it's not that. You're plenty of time to do your own thing. Now, the other couple in this scenario can I just buy their like the secondary market exists, but they're just like, oh, we want to give them to them at face value.
Yeah.
But the other couple that's getting that is now pregnant, you're right. It just comes down to they paid for them. You multiplied your chances of winning the lottery by having multiple friends, right?
Yeah.
That because you win doesn't necessarily make you the arbiter of how people allocate their tickets, right? Like, if your friend's like, well, I asked for 4, I was planning on selling 2 of them anyway. Like that, the same could have gone the other way if they had won the lottery. I guess I don't know. I see the side you're talking about on this, or they are talking about, but they're there.
But I'm not on your side.
But I'm not on your side.
I'm on the pregnant couple side.
I'm like hat tip. Yes, I understand that this can be frustrating.
I understand you're annoying, but if you, I don't think that this is that deep. You gotta like let it go.
Yeah. Had the couple never like mentioned how much tickets were getting resold for? Like, would they think any like malicious intent was there? That's what people do. Like, if you get tickets and you're like, wow, look how much they're going for now. It's just something they comment. I don't think. Also, I don't think they always were like, we're going to sell these.
But they're not beholden to the couple who wrote in the question to give them to somebody else that they know. Like, they're their tickets.
He's what grinded his gears, and I'm kind of reading the question over again, is that they never responded to the texts about it. They never engaged in the conversation. Be like, oh, we're so excited. He just said they would only bring up how much they can get back for him. And so I think that must have happened enough times where he's like, they just wanted to sell them regardless. And so now I'm pissed about them actually gonna sell them.
Yeah.
You know, there's like a grind.
I get
in my
that
gears
annoyance factor, but
totally.
I also think you got to let that go.
Yeah, if they would have hit on the lottery, this would not even be a question.
Exactly.
Yeah.
See where you're annoyed, but you gotta let this one go.
Yeah.
Give them their tickets and let them have a baby.
Yeah, and don't bring this up at the wedding.
Yeah. And don't try to split the profits from their tickets either.
Yeah.
Green Chef, Sally. Big fan of Green Chef. One, they give you the tools to be your own boss in the kitchen. I love that because they give you a box and some bags of ingredients, and then the rest is up to you. You get in, you improve your skills, you eat healthy meals, and you do it for a great price consistently. And that's what gives you success. You wondering what's on the menu this weekend, Sally?
Yeah.
How about some tilapia with ginger lime peanut sauce?
Oh, delightful.
Or some garlic thyme pork chops?
Wow.
Heck yeah. Maybe some pistachio crusted barramundi.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Exotic.
Yeah. And finally, some Southwest beef stuffed squash boats.
Oh, I've had those.
So good.
They're delightful.
Delightful. Green Chef gives you options each week. Choose from 80 flavor packed options. You can easily customize your meals to suit your lifestyle with preferences like keto, plant-based, Mediterranean, gut and brain health, calorie smart, quick and easy, protein packed, and gluten-free. Take back the time in the kitchen with dinner in 30 minutes and lunch in 10. Easy to make, easy to do, and it tastes fantastic. They deliver everything you need to make convenient, wholesome, and delicious meals directly to your doorstep, like pre-measured ingredients, some produce pre-chopped, and custom sauces pre-made in-house. For me, who I live alone, it's cut down food waste tremendously.
Yeah.
Because I use every ingredient. I eat the entire meal. And I'm not throwing away leftovers. I'm not throwing away produce that's gone bad because I only needed 1 carrot when you buy a bushel of 30. It's really been an improvement to my overall kitchen game. Here's the deal, Randy. Go to greenchef.com/mail50 and use code mail50 to get 50% off. Plus 20% off your next 2 months. Again, greenchef.com/mail50 and use code MAIL50 to get 50% off plus 20% off your next 2 months. Green Chef, the #1 meal kit for eating well. You want to do the next one?
Yes. Let me pull it back up for my flight check-in.
What'd you get?
What boarding group?
B32.
Come on.
Oh.
People are that
on it.
Oh my God.
I know. Well, it's because everyone pays to, but the thing is, it didn't matter because then my sister got A16, so
you can't save seats on those Southwest flights. Don't even try.
A16. That's the first spot after the one.
Yeah.
How'd she
She's
do
got
that?
A-list preferred, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, good Lord. Okay.
But yeah, she's gonna save me seat, Randy. Don't at me. Okay.
Oh, I'm gonna call Southwest.
Ooh, seat saving on Southwest.
I'm probably an exit row too. I'm just kidding. There's no way. I won't save a seat in an exit row. That's a psychotic move. Unless it's the middle one next to you. But I'm not gonna make her save a whole row for me and Lily.
I got an exit row last weekend. I think people are a little sketched out on exit rows right now.
Really? Why?
Yeah, because Boeing Max stuff.
Oh yeah.
The exit row was wide open, and I was like, I'm just gonna take that. I'm good, man. I'm if it's my time and I get sucked out of an airplane, it's your time. And then
this is a Southwest flight?
Yeah.
Honestly, my favorite seat on the Southwest flight when I'm traveling with just one other person, it's like me and Will, is the 2-seater at the extra row because then you don't have to have a middle seat person.
That's what I got.
But they don't recline.
Oh, I don't think.
Which doesn't really matter.
Tried. Yeah, I was laptop.
But I'm that's a great seat for 2 people. So I will save that because I'm
yeah.
He's coming. He'll be right
He's
there.
right there.
He's right there.
He's B42. He's fine.
He's C12. He's coming up the road.
I was as I'm normally a Delta boy.
Mm-hmm.
If I go anywhere else, it's usually like a United, American, Southwest. I'm very rarely on just based on where I fly.
Mm-hmm.
So I forget to check in. I'm like I'm unfamiliar with this process. So I was C27
Oh
last
yeah,
time.
because Will
was like,
used
oh my
my
God.
upgraded boarding credit.
Oh, he
On
was all
mine.
highfalutin. He's like, oh, I did that. I crushed it. It was you the whole time.
Yeah, I got charged my credit card, and I was like, "What the hell is this?" He's like,
Damn.
"Oh,
Sorry.
I thought, yeah, it was annoying, but whatever, it's fine." Okay, here we go. Hey, Brett and Sally, first time, long time here from out Boston way. Got a quick question for you about work conferences. Pretty soon, I'm a 30-year-old male going to a pretty well-known conference for my industry with 3 of my coworkers who I know fairly well. The conference is going to be in Las Vegas. Is it a porn convention, you think?
I'm just gonna guess it's like a
Real estate situation?
sales conference.
In our hotel rooms, conference meeting panels and sponsored dinners are all going to be directly on the strip. I don't go to Vegas often, but when I do, I like to responsibly gamble, have some drinks, and then call it a night pretty early for Vegas standards. However, I'm not sure where the line is when it comes to gambling during a conference, especially when I'm with coworkers. I'd imagine I wouldn't want to be with coworkers anytime after dinner, but I'd hate to have someone see me in the casino and think less of me or portray a negative image of our company. Am I overthinking this? Is there any harm in throwing $100 down on blackjack for some evening entertainment? Is there a time of day when gambling becomes concerning at a work conference, or should I just focus on catching a show and enjoying some company card room service? Any thoughts are appreciated. Just trying to make sure I don't embarrass myself. Bye.
What's the number one rule, Sally?
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Number 2, nothing good happens after midnight. If
Yeah.
you're playing $100 of blackjack at 8:30 after dinner and you've kind of already wrapped up all your responsibilities and you're with your buddy or you're like your best friend coworker, nothing wrong with that. If it's
If you're
3:30
having
in
it
the
in
morning,
Vegas, like,
they're doing that for a reason.
aren't they expecting you to gamble?
Yeah, it's
I'm like, this isn't like
you could do
you're not at-
Springfield, Missouri for the conference you're talking about. It's
yeah, like okay, we're not like going
sorry,
to
Springfield, Missouri.
yeah, like a random casino. Like
Yeah.
anytime it's at a casino, I think they think you're gonna gamble.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, just don't be
Don't be hammered at 2 a.m. and like being escorted out.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that logic applies to any work conference situations. Like, don't be the dude who's like blackout drunk at dinner or who's like coming home from the club at 2 a.m.
Correct. Yeah. Get in
or
your hotel
rolling
room.
in like the next morning. Like,
get in your hotel room before midnight. Be on time the next day.
yeah.
Don't take 19 ATM trips.
Yeah. Mix in a couple waters.
Take out your
to the free
bankroll or
cocktails.
whatever you're comfortable with responsibly having on you.
Yeah.
Keep it at that. You leave your debit card in your hotel room and you're fine. Don't
Yeah.
get
No one's
hammered.
gonna bat an eye if you spend $100. If you lose $5,000, people are gonna be like,
Hey, like Chris has a problem.
Chris like put $5,000 on red like in 2 seconds. Like it was
But
very
he was
weird.
by himself.
Like it was weird behavior. Like you're playing blackjack at a casino, probably 2 hands, maybe 4, given what probably prices are on the strip. But like no one's batting an eye to that. No one's batting an eye to like going out.
Correct.
I don't think.
Yeah.
It's Vegas.
Yeah, and it's meant to create better relationships with your coworkers too. Like
don't be the dude who's like at Spearmint Rhino for like 2 days straight
by yourself.
Like I would personally probably try to not. I think gambling is fine with coworkers. I wouldn't go to a strip club with coworkers. I wouldn't go out and like. I would say maybe if people are like going out to a club, you're like, cool, I'll come for like a little bit.
I'll stop by. Somebody's gonna put the table on their company card or whatever.
But like,
as long as it's a superior,
just don't do anything like so egregious that you would feel embarrassed. But clearly, he feels like he might be a little embarrassed if he got caught gambling. But I just don't think this is that big of a deal.
No, unless it's unless it's like an anti-gambling conference.
Yeah, like
it's like
Vegas. In Vegas,
it's like a Christian or like meet up or something like that.
Super
Christian,
Mormon.
Randy's going to a Christian mingle conference.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, the reason they're having it in Vegas is for this reason.
Yeah,
so you can gamble and let loose a little bit. Not too loose, but yeah.
Do you remember the question we got where the guy, like, a guy's boss loves strip clubs, and he's just like, "Oh, you gotta come, like, come, like the whole group's gotta go. Like, I'll get the table." I was like,
Yeah.
that would be tough. I'd be
That's a
like,
weird
"Dude,
move. Yeah, do not go to the strip club with your coworkers. And I would say you can go to the club if multiple people are going. I wouldn't go with just a buddy. Like
Yeah,
you only
maybe
need to go
don't
to the club if there's like 20 people going.
don't lead the club charge.
Yeah, just be
a follower.
Be
on
a
that
follower.
one.
Be a sheep for that one.
Yeah. Whenever we go on Wash media trips, Will's always that guy. So
He's
The club guy?
lead club guy.
That's-
I'd love
No,
to go
he's
to
not.
Vegas Randy's a pretty well documented character.
Yeah, but I'm just not a gambler or anything. Like there's not much in Vegas for me other than just drinking and having fun. Like
Honestly,
I'm not a gambler or I don't like strip clubs. I don't like doing any of that.
Will and I haven't done Vegas together where I haven't been pregnant or with a toddler. So May should be interesting.
There we go.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go to that, by the way. If we can figure out.
Well, you're not allowed to go to the strip club.
Oh, no. I don't. I'm not a strip club guy.
Or gamble after midnight. It's going to be a company event.
Yeah.
I think it is actually.
Well, whatever.
Based on and by the way, if you have an opportunity to go to the Fontainebleau, person from Boston, just saying. Anyway, have fun. If you want to just gamble responsibly and chill, go to the sports book. Because then you're not playing hands every 30
Even
seconds.
Blackjack.
But
it's not like exactly. If you $100, like give yourself a limit.
Nobody is going to be like, "Wow, you took out $100."
Yeah.
If you took out $100,000, then we have an issue. But nobody's going to bat an eye at $100.
Yeah. Yeah.
Am I up?
Yeah, it's your turn.
Hey guys, first time, long time. I'm curious to get your take on something. I butchered that, but I'm just going to go with it. I'm a few years into a job in consulting, and I'm at a crossroads. I'm really good at the job, like I got promoted to a manager level role a year ahead of the rest of my associate class, and I truly love the work I do, but the work-life balance is non-existent. Talking 12-hour plus days, working most weekends, etc. It's starting to wear on my relationship, my friendships, my health, both physical and mental. The pay is solid, but the real upside comes with staying with the company long-term and making partner. I'm on track to do that in a few years, ideally, but I'm absolutely burnt out. I'm hesitant to leave because I've made really good relationships with the company. My job history is a little checkered in that I've changed jobs every 2-ish years, and the job market is currently tough. I don't want to settle for less. However, realistically speaking, there's no way I can keep working like this for the next few years. Any thoughts? This guy already knows his answer here.
Yeah.
Partner is, I mean, a few years, even though you're kind of on a fast track, that's a long time of continuing on in the position you're in. And I don't feel like consulting, especially what sounds like a big firm, maybe prestigious, like it doesn't sound like it's going to get easier.
I think if like being partner is something that you want,
that's the upside play.
That's the upside. But like, if that's like you're at a law firm and you're like, I want to be partner or a consulting firm, whatever. And like, that's your end goal, end game is like, I'm partner at this firm. Then you just put your head down and do it because that's what your goal is. But like, I also think if you're already miserable, like from the outset right now, and you have years left of this, without even like this being like, I'm just thinking of like friends that I have that are lawyers that are like, I am going to be partner and I'm going to literally work my ass off. And that's just what my life is right now.
Burnout
or
comes with that.
I am going to be a doctor and I have to go through residency and I'm going to get shit on all the time until I'm an attending, and it is what it is. But like, if you're not sold on that and you're already like pretty, this sucks. I think you know your answer.
Well, yeah, it's time to start looking around. Now, it's not 6 months into the job. It's not 3 months into the job. You're multiple years into a job.
Right.
And I feel like our generation specifically, that like stigma of job hopping Although it exists still, it
It's
has
way less.
certainly been like blunted or eroded from like that. That's how you
Well, like
climb
our
now.
generation, I would say millennials and Gen Z care a lot more about work-life balance than
100%.
like the boomers did.
Yeah, and we don't, as a generation, stay in a company for 40 years anymore.
Right.
Like that's
no
not
one's
the
a
ladder
career
climbing.
person.
No, it's you build salary, you build benefits, you build compensation, you build your career right now by kind of hopping around,
Right.
until you find
what
this
I-
like beautiful situation.
Yeah, men is like no one's a generational job career person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's rare when somebody's been at a company now. I mean, I think
Right.
that is gonna die out.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
I mean that's when raises and titles and promotions aren't like necessarily laid out like they may have used to be, or it's just more, it's more kind of convoluted with the age of information that we're in. The opportunities are abundant, maybe not in
Right.
like I can get that, but they're abundant in the way that you can find them. And now jobs have to be more tailored to interests of our generation, and the work-life balance is important. And now you're climbing because that's the only amount of leverage this generation's starting to have is like, well, I can just go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And either that happens and you get an offer and you say, all right, well, I need to allocate my time resources differently or delegate, and you get some sort of like bump or promotion without being made partner, or you just go somewhere else. There's always like, people are using consultants, and there's no sign that people aren't going to use consultants.
Yeah.
And there's just go around the firms, like do your thing at Accenture, then do your thing at BCG. Like just, I feel like it's a world where you're kind of like plug and play. Like if you've worked and done well at firm X, you can very easily explain to firm Z why you're looking to be there.
Right.
And I think it's as easy as that. You know what you want to do. So get the resume involved. I mean, if you're scared about like, well, I haven't done anything here, it doesn't sound like that's the case. But you've made manager early. You have a story. You have multiple years under your belt. You have a story about how this company just doesn't value time correctly.
Yeah.
And we can do. They're taking too long on things that shouldn't take this long. So I want somebody more efficient, so I can have time to do other stuff or work on something more efficiently or differently. So that's the easy answer for me is, hey, unless you want to totally career change, like go back to school or
Right.
pivot to a startup or however that world works. Once you kind of reach that point, if you want to get more real world experience, then go back into consulting and say, okay, well, now I worked for this media company for 2 years and I'm going to go back into consulting with a different level of ammo. So you know what you want to do.
I think the question is that you ask yourself is like, if I made partner here, not even like if I made partner here tomorrow without having to do the years of putting my head down and working, like how much satisfaction am I going to get from that?
Yeah. Knowing
that like I don't have a personal life.
Right. What does that proverbial mountaintop look like? Is it just better pay? Is it less hours?
And if that's not that exciting of a possibility to you, then that answers the question for me.
Exactly. Boom. Yeah. You know what you want to do.
Yeah.
You know what I want to do? Hop on Prize Picks. Our friends over at Prize Picks are the best. They make it easy to wager. And there's no digging into the weeds on this odds, that. It's just more or less. That's all you need to know. More or less on 2 or more player stats, and watch the winnings roll in. March is over, but the biggest moments in college basketball tip off the month of April. Be a part of the action on Prize Picks for both men's and women's college basketball. Get in on the playoff action and win up to 100x your money on Prize Picks. 100 times your money if you want to go that way. As you and the world's best players take the game to a new level during basketball's postseason. NBA starts, I think it's like April 20th, something like that. Play-in rounds are a little bit before that. The play-in rounds still mess me up. I'm not used to those things. But good news is Prize Picks has you covered. They got the play-in rounds ready to go. They have something for every sports fan, from basketball and hockey to League of Legends and everything in between. You can pick LeBron, Caitlin Clark, Connor McDavid, and Jude Bellingham all in the same entry. PrizePicks is the best way to get in on the action on sports in more than 30 states across the country, including California, Texas, and Georgia. Some places that aren't exactly full-on gambling yet, but you can hop in on PrizePicks and have some fun.
Cool.
You watching the women's college basketball tournament has captivated me much more than the men's so far.
I agree.
It's awesome. Caitlin Clark is awesome. Here's the
She
deal.
might be the only college basketball player I know the name of, to be honest.
Let's ride. Download the app today and use code MAIL. That's code MAIL for a first deposit match up to $100. Again, download the app today. Use code MAIL for a first deposit match up to $100. PrizePicks. Pick more. Pick less. It's that easy. Last one, Sal.
Yeah. Am I reading this or you?
You're up.
Okay. Am I reading the intro?
I forgot about this one. So we said Dear Brally. We can't do Brally.
We don't have a ship name. Okay,
we
not
can't do
doing
Brally.
that. I refuse.
Sret. That doesn't work either.
No, I hate that.
Yeah.
My husband and I, both in our early 30s, have been living in our 3-bedroom home for about a year now. We love the neighborhood. We're both reasonably close to work, and the house itself is cozy and nice. It's absolutely perfect for us. My only concern is if we have a kid in the next year, we might run into space issues. We both work from home 3 days a week. So if we had a baby, the nursery would take away either our home office or guest room. Moving to a larger house in our same neighborhood would be out of reach financially, so that's not really an option. I need your thoughts on if our current house would be large enough to support a small family given our situation, or if we should seriously start to consider alternative options. Thanks. Love the pod.
Am I crazy in thinking a 3-bed is pretty standard starter home?
No, that's
Okay.
correct. Here's my thoughts on this. You're fine. First of all, you don't know if you're going to have a kid. I mean,
True, yeah.
it sounds like that's in their plan, but you
Mhm.
don't know when that's going to happen. I would wait to decide until the baby's there that you're like, okay, we've run out of space. I think anybody who has a family is going to tell you, unless they live in a straight up mansion, is like, we have no space.
Sure.
It doesn't matter if you have enough rooms. Like Will and I moved, both of our children have their own room. And I'm like, we have too much shit. There's no space anywhere.
Mhm.
That's just the reality of having a family, is like you move in somewhere and once you have one kid, your stuff multiplies exponentially. And then when you have two, it is like bonkers how much stuff you have. You don't know what that's going to look like until the kid is here.
Right.
I also would argue that, first of all, when you have a kid, the baby is like not in a nursery immediately. They're in your room.
Mhm.
So it's not like you have to be like, well, we have to sacrifice the guest room for a nursery, but then my parents can't come stay with us when the kid's here. Cause it's like, well, the kid's going to be in your room. Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
Also, like, can you not do a little guest room office combo? Can you have a desk in the guest room?
That's where I was going to go with this. Is can we combo something? Can we put a guest bathroom or guest Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Can we do a nursery office combo? Can we do a guest room office combo? Can we do a guest room nursery combo?
I think for me, I really loved when we had 2 kids in a 3-bedroom house
Mhm.
or apartment, condo, whatever it was. There was definitely not enough space, but I loved our neighborhood so much
Sure. Yeah.
that I was not willing to compromise on that yet
Mhm.
until we found a place that we could afford that was a little bit bigger in another neighborhood that I liked. But like being things that you think about or need to think about when you are having a kid is like, what's the neighborhood like? Am I going to like want to play with my kid outside? Am I going to want to go for walks in this neighborhood? Are there other young families around that like kind of we can make friends with? Like,
Mhm.
I don't think, I think you're in a good situation right now. A 3-bedroom home is totally fine.
Sure.
Like you don't have to have a guest room. Honestly, some people would probably prefer to not have a guest room because that's the other thing. Once you have a kid, you're like, I don't want people staying with me.
Mhm.
I have a kid. Do not come into my house.
Yeah.
Like that was a blessing. Honestly, it's like, oh, you can't stay over. We
Yeah.
have people like we have no space for you.
Right.
I think this only becomes an issue if you're both working from home and then the kid's there and you have a nanny and then you're all on top of each other, which I think Will would argue at that point too, when he was working from home and then we had a nanny, he was like, I need to go work from another area so that I can like get stuff done. Because when you have a kid, you don't want to work from home because it's like you also are like then mixing the home work life and it becomes distracting.
Yeah.
Or at least for Will it did. You're fine. I would wait and see how it goes when you actually have a baby in your arms. As
somebody who is unfamiliar with 3-bedroom homes and having children, I agree. I think the best, wait it out. See how it feels.
And you just make it work how you want it to work.
Yeah.
Like
you don't need, everything doesn't need to be like pristine, perfect guest room, pristine, perfect nursery, pristine, perfect office, pristine, perfect dining room. Like you're having a kid. Like, things are gonna mix.
Yeah.
Things are gonna get like your plan's not gonna pan out 100% of the time.
And every person's different, but I would argue that like I would with a child want to be in a situation financially that was comfortable for me, but also in a place that I wanted to be. Like it's not worth overextending yourself and then having a kid and then really being overextended financially wise. Or it's also not in for me, it's not worth like moving and then being in a place I'm unhappy, but having kids and being like, well, I actually hate where we live.
Right. Boom.
It'll work itself out.
Work itself out. That's going to do it for us today, Sally. Anything else before we bounce out of here?
No.
Good to go.
That's it.
That's it. Randy, any comments?
You know what? I went to go back to look at the old Taylor Swift ticket situations because we gave the completely different answer for that one, and it was a quite different scenario that person was completely in the wrong. I stick by what we said today.
Thanks for doing your research.
What was remind me of what the other one was?
So a girl took a complete day off of work to get tickets and was able to get 5 tickets for like 200, 300.
Wow.
Like invited. She got 5 tickets, so she invited 4 of her friends.
Right.
And up to like a week before the concert, the girl had never paid her, one of the girls, and then said she couldn't go. So the person's like, all right, well, okay, then I'll sell the ticket.
Right.
And then that person came back, said, no, that was my ticket. So you owe me all the profits for that stuff. When the person had never initially paid, they didn't initially go in on the ticket or anything like that. They were trying to say like, no, those profits are mine. And the girl's like,
if you haven't paid for it and it's a week before.
Yeah. They never pay for it. And they were not in the initial, like, I'm going to help you. I'm also going to try to get off work and like get these tickets too. So
when's the Miami concert? Do we know? Is it in October?
Miami, Taylor Swift. Her album comes out soon,
August. I know. Yeah.
Eras Tour 2024, Miami. Miami Gardens, Florida is late October.
Okay, so it's 6 months away.
Yeah.
And the people have already paid for the ticket.
Yeah. You're ahead. You're ahead of most people.
Yeah, we answered that correctly both times. I'm confident in our ability to answer both of those questions.
I was just interested to see. But yeah, no, that's it for me.
We're not flip floppers.
Nope.
I maintain all of my opinions.
Not me.
He's wearing flip-flops. Brett's wearing flip-flops.
Wearing flip-flops. That'll do it. I'm Brett Merriman at Schmerriman. That's Sally deFries at Sally deFries on Instagram and Twitter.
Follow along for some Sal Gals
content. Oh, Sal Gals content coming up. Enjoy NOLA.
I'm very excited.
Keep us posted on it. Right in the link in the Twitter bio at Merriman Podcast or in the description of this episode. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye.